Hey, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. Oh, I had to refilm this. This is my second time filming this video because I filmed it and I sat down to edit it and I realized that like I had brushed my teeth before filming and like I had toothpaste crossed on my face. I was like, oh my god, it's so... I just can't. I'm sorry. I had to scrap it and I had to start from the bottom, but we'll get there. Anyway, this is a review of the new release Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay, one of my most anticipated releases of this year. I have been so excited about this for months, and I also have to say that I've only done a couple of these new release reviews so far, and they've both been pretty positive, and this one is not as positive. Like, it's not negative, I guess. It's just not as positive as my other ones have been. Oh, please don't hate me. I know so many people love this book, and I just couldn't love it very much at all, so I will tell you why. Survivor Song takes place in Massachusetts, and in this world right now, they are inundated with a rabies virus, but like not our normal rabies virus, which is like very scary and like by itself, but this rabies virus is obviously also able to infect people, and when people and animals are infected with this virus, it just travels much more quickly than our normal rabies virus would. Like, it very quickly enters their brain, and then at that point it's like you're a goner. And instead of like it taking days for this to happen, it takes sometimes hours for it to happen. And because of this, basically our healthcare system is breaking down. I mean, they don't really know, since it's such a new, well, at least because of this mutation, this new mutation, they don't really know exactly what to do and what's going on and what will work for people who have been infected. And we follow two main characters. The first one we meet is named Natalie. She is in her 30s and she is pregnant with her first child. She's pretty far along in her pregnancy. She's, you know, almost to her due date, and she lives with her husband, and one day they are attacked by a person who is infected with this rabies virus, and her husband is killed and she's bitten. And that's not a spoiler, it says that on the jacket. So I know I'm not spoiling that. I double checked just to make sure. Natalie is obviously very worried about herself and her unborn child that she is carrying. She gets in contact with a college friend of hers named Romola. Romola is a pediatrician, so she thinks, you know, if I reach out to anybody about this, she might be my best bet at survival. So Natalie and Romola, basically the plot is they're trying to get help for Natalie. And it's kind of one of those books where it's just like these people are on a journey, and I don't know if I like that very much. Okay, so as far as what I thought about this book, I think the first thing I have to say is that it's so strange to read something like this and know that it was not written recently. Like, the things that are happening in this society, in this world, are so... like, there's so many parallels between what we're dealing with right now with COVID-19. In this book, the healthcare system, like I said, is just like, they are overrun. They don't have the right gear to deal with this. They don't have like PPE gear. They don't know if a vaccine will work on certain people. It's just, it's crazy knowing that this was written months and months ago and not just like last week. It's so wild. Like, is Paul Tremblay some sort of an oracle? Like, can he see into the future? It's really like freakily relevant. Even just like, you know, they meet some people who think that this whole thing is a conspiracy and that our government just wants made up this disease so that people will vaccinate themselves against it, and then there might be things in the vaccines that people don't want in their bodies, and like, it's like, oh my god, there are these people right now on our planet, in our country, saying these same things, and it's so crazy. I don't really know why I didn't like this book more. I guess it just like, it didn't wow me at all. The whole book was Romola and Natalie trying to travel to different places to see if they can help Natalie, and I mean, that's just it. And it was so like formulaic in that sense. Like, it could have been any other zombie apocalyptic story, you know what I mean? And in the book they say over and over again that like, these aren't zombies, but like, they basically are. They're people who have a virus and they're trying to infect other people by biting them. Like, it's a zombie story. It just felt very redundant and repetitive, and it was like, they go here and then they go here and then they go here and then they go here, and I just didn't care for that. And like, I don't like that in books in general. I guess there's a one that comes to mind that I read recently was He Started It by Samantha Downing, and I really loved her first book, and then this is her second one, and it's like they're taking a vacation, and it's like so fucking boring. Like, I don't care about your weird car trip. So I don't know, there's that, I guess. And I just didn't feel very connected to any of the characters, which is kind of strange because, I don't know, you can tell that they're like well thought out, fleshed out characters. Like, these are characters, these are people in Paul Tremblay's mind, they're not just characters. But I don't know, I just didn't find that they had a lot of personality. I didn't really care about either of them. I wasn't worried that either of them wouldn't make it. I didn't feel like the stakes were very high. And another thing is that with Natalie being pregnant in this apocalyptic situation, it felt a lot like Bird Box by Josh Malerman to me. And I'm not saying that Paul Tremblay, copied anything, because, I mean, there are literally no new ideas on this planet. Like, it doesn't matter what you've thought of, it's probably been thought of before. So I'm not saying that, but it really felt like it was just like Mallory from Bird Box in a different setting to me. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess those are my main thoughts on it. And previously, when I've done these reviews like this with new releases, I either do them like the day after I finish reading, because I don't want to wait too long, because then sometimes I pick up another book, my feelings and my thoughts on this book start to kind of not be so vivid in my mind. They kind of start to dull, as the days go on. So I like to do them quickly after I finish the book, so that it's like in the very forefront of my mind still. But this one, I had to wait a couple days because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And another thing, okay, so I want to tell you guys about this, but I'm worried that it might be mildly spoilery, like not for anything that happens in the plot, but maybe a plot device that some people maybe wouldn't want to know about. So if you're very sensitive about spoilers, skip ahead a couple seconds, but I want to say this, and that's, we got to the ending, and I'm not going to tell you what happened, obviously, but we were left with kind of a cliffhanger, and I thought that this was going to be one of Paul Tremblay's like infamous ambiguous endings, and I was so here for it. It was like this sentence on this page, and then the next couple of pages were blanked, and I was like, honestly, gutted. And I was like, oh, this really changes my perception of the whole book, I think. But then you flip a couple pages and there is like an epilogue part where he wraps it up more neatly, and I was so disappointed that he felt like he had to, I don't know, smooth things out for readers, because I really think that it would have been so much more powerful and effective if we had just been left not really knowing what happened to these characters. So that was a little bit disappointing. Okay, the spoilers are done now. The baby spoilers. And I guess that's all I have to say about it. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I didn't, like, not like it at all. It was very readable. I finished it in, like, 2 days. And, you know, I don't often do that. So, it was very readable. So many people have liked it. So, if, like, the plot sounds interesting to you, I definitely think that you should pick it up. But all in all, I gave it 3 stars. It was just okay. It was a book that I read, and I guess what's disappointing is just that I was so excited about it, and then it turned out to not. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would at all, which is really disappointing. But I don't know. I guess I really want to hear from people who have read it, and I want to know what you thought about it and, like, what you liked about it, because not that I think that there's nothing to like about this book. I'm just really curious, like, what part about this whole thing you liked. Anyways, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.